Hello friends, it's Suzi Perez here, Vinmaps founder, wine lover, wine explorer, cartographer. And today I have a question for you. Well, technically it may be two questions. What is this? Well, you might say, Suzi, it's just a coin. It's a quarter. On one side it has heads, the other side tails. But what if I were to tell you that based on the flip of this coin, the next phase of your life would be based on that flip of the coin, whether it was heads or tails? Would you abide by the outcome of the coin toss? So ponder that for a bit. Now, if you know Greg and Shae Frichette at Frichette Winery, then perhaps you know what I'm getting at here. But if not, stay tuned. And stay tuned anyway, even if you do, because we're going to be delving into the fabulous world of Frichette Winery and tasting through this beautiful 100% Sémillon Artz Vineyard 2021 Sémillon and this lovely 2020 Punctual Franc dominant Red Blend. Frichette Winery was officially founded in 2011 with over 600 cases of wine, and in 2013 they opened their tasting room on Red Mountain American Viticultural Area, that is, in eastern Washington. And in 2016 they moved into their new production facility, and now they are producing upwards of 3,500 cases of wine per year. So they've seen steady growth and success through the years. And recently they also have acquired 15 more acres on the mountain, and those are slated for planting sometime in 2024. As well, they launched a new line called Sachet Wine, and this is primarily Shae's baby. It was her vision and concept, and right now it features rosé wine, and later I've read at least that she may get into sparkling wine, so that's very exciting. And they have a son, Jaden, who also lives with them there on Red Mountain. So it's very much a family affair, and this is an estate vineyard and winery, so everything is grown and produced on site on Red Mountain. Their wines are fruit-driven, medium body with smooth, assertive tannin, and their vision is to be a destination winery known for stellar hospitality, beautiful views, and premium wines. While doing this, they also strive to be good stewards of the land and contributors to their community. So how did Greg and Shae meet anyway? Well, it was actually far from Washington State. It was in Southern California through the realm of corporate IT. And with that, I'm going to open this bottle of Sémillon, and we can swirl, sniff, and do a little tasting while we chat about the wonderful meeting of Greg and Shae. Okay, just finishing pouring a little bit of this beautiful Sémillon. Oop, a little different when you're sitting down than standing up pouring. Gorgeous. Sort of pale straw, pale gold, kind of light lemon pear colors there. See that? Okay, so this is entirely from Artz Vineyard on Red Mountain American Viticultural Area. And we'll bring up our Red Mountain map so you can see where that is. So, 2021 Sémillon, beautiful. Getting apple, some pear, aromatics. And this is actually a grape you may or may not know from the Bordeaux region of France originally, and it's grown various places around the world, including Washington, but Australia too, where I believe they say Sémillon instead of Sémillon. In any case, beautiful, refreshing. Okay, I'm gonna take a little sip here. Yeah, I can tell this will open up further. Getting a little bit of citrus, green apple peel essence, some pear notes, I can tell other fruits are going to come in. Some essence of some melon, tropical fruits coming through too. Very refreshing. I can imagine sitting out in our back and a hot summer evening and sipping this. Wonderful. Okay, Greg and Shae. So he being from Washington, she from South Carolina. They met, they had a son, they married. Okay, missed that big point there. They married, and then they were deciding, gosh, do we want to do this for the rest of our lives, or do we want to do something else? Perhaps something that would give us goosebumps. And so they would sit on the patio, the story goes, open up a bottle of wine and be chatting and sipping wine. And they kept going back to the realm of agriculture because both of their families actually have history in agriculture in South Carolina and in Washington. And so that was kind of a cool thing they wanted to maybe keep going. But ultimately, they were deciding, okay, where do we want to go? South Carolina or Washington? And they kept going back and forth. Obviously, Shae wanted to go to South Carolina. Greg wanted to go to Washington so that they could be closer to extended family, and so Jaden could know his grandparents. And Greg was like, well, we can't just keep going back and forth like this. We've got to make a decision. So, okay, this is where this coin comes into play, right? Heads was Washington, tails was South Carolina, and it ended up being heads. So at this point, having decided on Washington State, they further decided, okay, let's get into viticulture, grape wine growing, viticulture in particular. And they met Dick Boucher, who is a renowned viticulturalist in Washington State. He's been growing grapes in Washington for many years and is excellent at it. He's a master at it. So they got to meet him, and he said, well, if you're gonna grow grapes, get some land on Red Mountain ASAP. And Greg was at WSU Enology program by now, and Shae was learning everything she could about wine, and they were both dedicated to learning as much as they could about wine and winemaking and viticulture. And so they also met Charlie Hoppus, and this is sort of, I think, through the WSU Enology program's mentorship program, but also Dick Boucher and Charlie Hoppus are not strangers. They ultimately met Charlie Hoppus, and he guided them through. He's a wonderful coach for them. And so learning from the best, isn't that, that's pretty cool.
One of the things that really took me back was, what other industry or what other community where there's a bunch of business owners who, my neighbor who should be my biggest competitor taught me everything I know and would do anything to support us. And it's great.
So they didn't even know who Charlie Hoppus really was, his history in Washington wine, and to come across such a master of winemaking when you're trying to learn and build a business from the ground up on Red Mountain, I think it's pretty incredible. And so they finally were able to secure some land on Red Mountain, and Charlie Hoppus led them to victory with their first and probably a few vintages to begin with from 2011, and so the rest is history. And now with that, I want to open this 2020 Punctual Red Blend. Okay, so I have my beautiful 2020 Punctual Red Blend here, and as I say, this is a Cab Franc dominant Bordeaux style red blend. It is composed of only 2 varieties. All right, let's get into this wine. So this is looking gorgeous. Deep, dark, ruby, dark plum color. And one thing I wanted to note about Shae also, she is great at marketing, okay? This lady is on LinkedIn all the time, social media. She's vibrant. That's one reason why I wanted to wear something vibrant, because she's always wearing something really vibrant and pretty. She is super smart. She knows what she's doing, and she is tasting room manager and events coordinator for the winery. They have all kinds of cool events that go on during the summer and other times of the year, I'm sure too. Live music and food and wine. So it seems like a really fun place to go. And by the way, I have not been there. Next time I go to Red Mountain, I'm going to go there, of course. But our neighbors across the way, Kristen and Anthony, they've been there and they loved it. So it's a great place to visit, and I know you won't regret it if you do. And also their website, you can purchase all of these wines and many more. They have a few Cab Sauves, they have Petit Verdot, they have blends, they have the one white Sémillon, the Sachet Rosé, various reds, single variety, and also blends. So it's wonderful things that they're offering there. Pretty cool. All right, so let's get some aromas going here. Definitely getting some dark cherry, dark plum. As I say, roasting and baking spices. You can tell it's complex. It's one thing that I love about Red Mountain Reds. Hands down, always complex. Yeah, getting dark fruits, dark plum, blackberry nuances, dark cherry, roasting spices, a little bit of cedar, maybe some tobacco box elements. Delicious. And I'm looking for that caramel finish. Every palate is different though, so. It's delicious. Yeah, so one thing that I noted in my research is that Greg and Shae like to have that little bit of caramel and the aromas and flavors, and then in the finish of the wines. I don't know if I'm getting it, but I just opened this, so. And what I might not think of as caramel, someone else may think of as caramel. But this is a complex, well-balanced, look at those legs, beautiful wine. And Greg, by the way, suggests on the website at least pairing this with barbecued chicken hit with some Gouda, with all the fixins. And I agree, I think that would be fabulous. With that, my friends, this brings us to the conclusion of our wonderful tasting and venture into the world of Frichette Winery. I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of their winery and Greg and Shae Frichette and their wines here. Definitely check out that Sachet Rosé. It's on their website, and I'm probably going to pick up a bottle myself, at least one. And if you enjoy this video, we would love a like and subscribe. It's something that we haven't been doing a long time, but we're getting better and better at it. We think, we hope. So with that, Cheers, everyone, and here's to tasting Frichette wines. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.